hello. Welcome to the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour. You're here with Spicy Gray. Is it on yet?
It might be sometime it be on.
Yeah, because it's just loading. It's just loading. Okay, we on. Hello, hello. Welcome to the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour. Thank y'all for tuning in. We have a special treat today, the beautiful Miss Converse Petite.
Hi.
I know it's been a busy time for you during this time.
Yes.
I know it has because I've seen you be looking outside. Even though the pictures are beautiful.
Thank
So
you.
let me see if we're already in. Let me tune in so I can see everybody's questions. And then we're going to go to announcement. Then we're going to get into the nitty gritty. How did the show go with Miss Laura Thompson? I seen you on there.
It went good, and she surprised me because I didn't know that it was live. So when I saw it, I started hearing. I was like, "Oh, she went live," and then I saw you shared it. That's how I knew it.
Yes,
It
yes.
was. So
And then you also was on Legacy City. Was it Battle of the Sexes?
yes, but he also did a interview
Okay.
as well. So it's been exciting. It's
Yeah, I
been a
seen you
journey,
laughing on
and
there. He's a comedian. He's a big
yes.
comedian. So I said, I know she's going to be in tears. Well, thank you for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for
Congratulations on
having
your
me.
crown. So we're going to start off with our announcements. As y'all know, we had the Father Day gift basket raffle. This is the month.
Yes.
So if you want to enter in, the tickets are $40. All you have to do is Cash App, $ the Unspoken Heart. If you don't have that, we have to pay. I gotta always look at my PayPal because it's paypal.me/ the Unspoken Heart. That is for the Father's Day gift basket raffle. Now we also have in store the Father's Day gift giveaway. The same as the Mother's Day as we done, to where you have to write a paragraph. Well, people wrote letters, so that's
Okay.
fine because sometimes it takes a page to actually let somebody feel the impact of the person that they're talking about.
Yes.
So if you know someone that is a father, a man, it can't be a woman, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, a father.
Yes, a father that is a great impact to lives. Please email me at the unspoken heart 70 at AOL.com, or you can inbox me here with the letter just telling us how this person impact and why you feel like they deserve this gift giveaway for Father's Day. As y'all will know, on June 18th, we will be doing the Father's Day tribute, and that is going to be such a
Yes.
treat. And we're going to have in that house at the studio the Battle of the Sexes, Prezi, the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour, me, and then Jay Shanique's Poetry Corner, Miss Converse.
Lovely.
We do have a treat on there for y'all, so please tune in June 18th. The time do change on the 18th, and it will be moving to 7 p.m. So tune in then, know about the chime change. Right now, we're still going to be at 5 p.m. Next Thursday, we are moving to 7 p.m. for a very special treat. Oh, a beautiful, beautiful special treat. Lady Bane. I don't have you heard of her yet? Girl,
I haven't.
girl, her voice. Oh my God. I can't wait to. You have to download StreamYard. It will appear on Facebook. But if you want your comments for me to see on StreamYard, download StreamYard, tune in on Facebook, and I'll be able to see the comments. Miss Lady Bain, she was a former police officer, and she transformed into an R&B singer.
That's
Amazing.
amazing.
So we will be
So
having
you got to
her.
share that information with me too. So
Yeah, so tune in. That there next Thursday will be at 7 p.m.
okay.
So we are booked up to July 2nd. I know some
I
people
saw you was very
being hitting
busy.
me up. I'm like, I thank God for that because I was like, okay, I'm booked up all the way to July 2nd. So we did have one more person come in. He's also a singer. I'm waiting on the bio for him to send me so we could get him also in the schedule. So if you're looking for quality food and service, contact Chef Tish at Tish's Home Style Cooking. That's 214-414-7718. And she is on wheels. They deliver. Matter of fact, we have here Cedric Bellamy. We have here our special ribs because we know she's going to be watching. So we're gonna take a little taste. So we could actually, cause we did the wings, we did the lemon pepper wings, and we had the original wings,
Yes.
and oh my God, they were just like, they were so good. But we're gonna try her ribs for the first time before we get started with the questions.
She
So
gonna have me have meat in my teeth.
let's see here. Mm. Yeah,
Good.
they good. They're really, really good. Thank you, Tish, for the delivery. Mm. Oh God. I would use the sauce to dip it in. Mm.
Oh, I'm good. I don't like sauce. They got a good
It
flavor
depends on who's making the
seasoning.
sauce.
Yes.
But she's also gonna be doing a delivery for the Father's Day tribute. And that's gonna be, which I never heard of, but it looks so good on that picture. She's gonna be delivering the peach cobbler cake.
Peach
And
cobbler
it
cake.
looks so good. So we're gonna have two of the fathers in the studio, so we'll be enjoying that while we be on there. We're gonna give our shout outs. Hello, Detroit Russell, Nikita McClure, Sin the City Real. Uh, Nikita says she's proud of you.
Thank
We
you,
all
Nikita.
are. Mr. Wainwright, thank you for tuning in. Sin City, say hello, ladies. Hello. Also, Mr. Wainwright speaks as well. Hello, Mister. Thank you for tuning in. Monica Henson. Also, Dominic Jones. Thank you for tuning in. Stephanie Nyers, Miss Fire
Yes.
with three eyes, because she's just that hot. So she said, hello, beautiful ladies. Marcus Conaway, thank you for watching. Anissa Bailey, Clifton Taplin, Vincent D. Webb, Zetra Manso. Thank y'all for tuning in. Anissa says, proud of you, cuzzo. Stephanie Naya says, Miss Converse, you look beautiful.
Thank
Yes, she
you.
does. Faye McKenzie, that's my auntie. Thank you for tuning in. She said, God bless you, proud of you. Love you, auntie. Love you too. Sonia McAfee, Nate Lawrence, we got a lot of them in. uh, Ricky, I hope I'm saying it right. Ricky Flowers, thank you for tuning in. Miss Laura Thompson of Tan
Hi.
TV,
Yes.
hello. Thank you for tuning in. And Carlos Ramos. Tisha's Homestyle Cooking. Thank you, lady.
The ribs are delicious.
Felicia Nix, thank you for tuning in. And Stephanie Nyers says, hello, beautiful ladies. Y'all are just that hot. Thank you. Well, like I said, I appreciate you coming in. You've been on a lot of interviews. You've been doing a lot of ventures out there right now. I seen you was down to, I think it was Ella Austin.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was going on down there?
So we were invited again by Legacy City. You reached out and was able to make a connection for me to be down there. I also did an interview on the radio station that was down there.
Okay.
I passed out autograph pictures. We were able to help pass out little baggies with information
Okay.
to the community. They had a book drive, just a bunch of different venues that we're trying to give back to the community and give out educational stuff, such as about mental health. The police
Okay.
officers
Okay.
were down there passing out stuff as well.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I started to go down there, but I was like, oh my God, it's so hot.
It did get a little hot, but
Yes,
it
yes.
was definitely worth it.
Yes, and Mr. Legacy, he was just all over the place. He was doing a great job himself, and also Mr. Sin City assisted
Yes.
you. Fabulous man, he's great. Um, Recently, as we see, she was awarded and crowned Miss Petite Converse, competing for Miss Petite USA, which is in August of this year.
Yes,
Are
ma'am.
you ready?
Yes, I am.
Are you
I have
nervous?
a very good team of women and men that are supporting me and backing me. So they're
Okay.
helping me with the nerves as well as you with the interviews before the interview. So that I can also get that part down too.
Okay. You have any shout outs you want to do while we're on here before we get to the questions?
I have a lot. Shout out to Tan TV, Street Legend, Sin City. Shout out to Stephanie Nias and Bridget Gentry. I've had lots of sponsors, so I want to shout out all my sponsors. It was like 30 something that I reviewed for the donations, and then there's helping sponsor. Shout out to Deetra Russell, She also sponsored me on some things. Jennifer Russell Baker.
It's-
It's a long list of love just that have been provided.
so
So
you have a
I
great
feel
support system
very
backing
blessed.
you
Yes.
behind all this. That sounds
Shout out to
great.
Marcel and Paul Russell as well. Those are my parents.
Oh, hi, mama, dad. So, I'm gonna go with some questions. I know you was trying to zoom in on my photo
Yes.
when I was
I
out
was
at my
like, let me
meditational
see.
spot. I was like, no, let me position this because I know she's gonna try to look at these questions. But I'm gonna ask you some questions, and just answer in the best way you can. And for y'all out there, if y'all want to answer any questions or you want to state a comment, please call in at 512-668-2814. That's 512-668-2814. This is Miss Petite Converse. Okay, say we already went. What makes you different from other women that will be competing in this pageant?
What makes me different from other women that are competing in this pageant is that my platform is education.
Okay.
My background growing up has been full of educators and inspirational men and women as well. It's personal for me
Mm,
because I am an educator as well.
right.
So my platform, I'm doing it not only for myself but for my scholars at my school at Idea Najum,
Okay.
um, to encourage and inspire other young women of ethnicities and color to be able to feel like they have a voice and they're also all queens.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So, what makes Monica Russell unique?
I feel like what makes me unique is what I have to offer and bring. Not only with wearing the crown and the sash, I'm a mother of three as well. So when it comes to education, I have both sides of the view. Um, what makes me unique is I'm able to, with my family's support as well as my nieces and nephews.
Mhm.
I've been in education for 15 plus years.
Right.
So I've seen like from different places and working what the lacks were, what I can do to help improve education and make sure that our scholars are not left behind and that we're helping them go further and become successful.
Oh, that sounds so sweet. Sounds so sweet. Now, you're getting ready to enter into Miss Petite USA.
Yes.
Why do you want to win this pageant?
I want to win, and I feel like I'm going to win
Yeah, we got
because
faith. We claiming this.
because it's about the vision,
Hmm.
and for me, it's not about me. And winning for me is something that I'm already doing throughout the charity acts, the platform, the already inspiring little girls like at the Ella Austin Community Center. I've mentioned before that there was one little girl that actually made me feel like what I'm doing would actually make an impact.
Hmm.
Her looking at me and asking me, was I a princess? And
Oh,
her feeling like, she asked me, like, I want a crown. How do I get the crown? And so again, I relate everything back to education. Continue to stay in school, continue to strive to meet and follow your dreams. It's good to have a dream,
hmm,
but actually executing it and getting the knowledge that you need to become successful and exceed that dream. Because I believe in
exactly,
not just hitting your goals, but exceeding them as well.
exactly.
So that in itself, seeing my scholars, they're excited about our next charity event,
Mm,
wanting to come out and like even having their support as their teacher
mm.
and their mentor is already to me. I've already won.
I hear you. I hear you. That's what I like to hear. Okay. What inspired you to compete in this pageant?
Honestly, my inspiration to compete in the pageant, initially, I was just filling out a form. I saw it and I knew that like models had to be certain heights and certain weights and most people don't choose mothers for those type of things. So when I initially entered it I actually didn't even think that they would pick me. And so when I got the return letter back, like, okay, we want to know more about you. Send us a
What was your
bio, send
reaction when
another.
you first seen it, though?
I was like, wow, okay. So then I started reading up on it and looking further into it. And just seeing like Miss Jenna, she was amazing. She's one of the co-founders now in it. Um, and the fact that she chose me based off of my platform. She
Right.
chose me based off of headshot. She
Mm.
hadn't seen if I was skinny, if I was thick, if any of that.
Right.
Um, that I was also able to still be a mother because that was something that I looked at as well.
Mm.
So the fact that they wanted mothers, they wanted wives, they wanted single parents, and they wanted women that were 5'6" or below.
Mm.
So I made all the qualifications, and it impacted me that they were trying to close that gap as well. So back to education, that's what I do at school as a AR teacher.
Okay.
I make sure that the scholars that are behind
Mm-hmm.
by the time that the school year is over, they're on level or above.
Right.
So for me, that closed the gap of dreams that may have been crushed. As like I always like to say, I used to model as a child,
Mm-hmm.
but then I stopped growing. So so that dream for me was like, okay, I can't model
You feel like you
anymore.
got
So
stunted.
I got stuck. And so when this door opened, it to me was a sign. And to me, again, it was about the vision and
Mhm.
the voice that I can have to inspire other women.
Right. So, who is your role model and why?
I would say that my role model would be both of my parents,
Hmm.
just because they were young parents,
Uh-huh.
they were military parents.
Right.
So
So you got that
even
structure there
though
as well.
the structure, but also both sides of it,
Right.
because in having two parents, a lot of people are like, you had your two parents there. But there were sacrifices that had to be made when we were younger because
Right.
both being military, there were times they were both away. So
Hmm.
I also had the life of as if I would with my grandmother had taken care of us sometime, and sometime I was with uncles or aunts as
Right.
well. So yes, I did have both parents there, but through them sacrificing to make sure that we had better lives,
Hmm.
I feel like that was an inspiration.
Wow.
Um, and my grandmother was a great woman.
Mhm.
So she impacted me as well.
Our
She
grandmothers
stuck
usually
with,
are.
yes, she stuck through the family thick or thin, and she was always also in my corner.
Mm.
Sorry, I get a little emotional. She just passed recently. So
Sorry to hear that.
um, when I had my first child, she was there. She worked nights, but she wanted me to continue.
Right.
So I was in cosmetology school because, I wanted to be a psychologist, but I had a baby on the way.
Mm.
So I had to do something that I knew I can get through school quick enough that when my child was born, I had a career.
Right.
So my grandmother would sacrifice her days watching my daughter for me so that I can continue school.
Hmm.
And then she would go to work at night.
Right.
And she never complained, never asked for anything. But so I have a lot of inspirational and powerful women in my life. And like my
Wow.
father has always been that foundation and that rock.
That's a strong chain there. I like that. I really love that. I really do. Now, if you win the next pageant, which is coming up in August, what will you do when it comes down to being an example for young girls?
The first example, when it comes to winning, I would have won the title of Miss Petite Texas.
Hmm.
So, being a parent, a mother of three, being a teacher, being that 5'6" or below,
Hmm.
I feel like I would give them hope.
Right.
Also, being a woman of color
Hmm.
for our little brown babies.
Right.
Um, just all of that in itself, and
Mm.
seeing that I followed through,
Right.
I gave it my all.
Hmm.
I'm giving back to the community. I am my vision is complete.
Right.
Would inspire them as well to follow through,
Right.
take the baby steps first, and then you'll become great.
Okay. Okay. Well, what all are you doing? Because I know a lot of people they see the pageants on TV, Miss USA.
Mm.
They see the luxury side of it.
Yes.
but they don't see behind the scenes. So, what all do you do to prepare for this?
So to prepare, there is a lot involved in it. For me, modeling and pageants is different, which I didn't know.
Mm,
The preparing, the way you walk, your posture, preparing, like you have to make sure that you're staying healthy and fit.
mhm,
You have to make sure that you are able to financially be able to have a lot of things you need, because when you're in pageants, a lot of things are out of pocket.
right.
Um, the charity work, there is a lot that you have to do besides just smiling and looking beautiful. And
Right.
in the Miss Petite pageant, their vision is for the etiquette. It's more towards the etiquette. It's more towards the charity work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Currently, of course, since it's a platform for education and children, is what
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about. I donate to the scholarship funds through IDEA,
Okay.
through different scholarship agencies. I've done donations to the St. Jude's.
Right.
The Ella Austin charity events.
Okay.
I donate all the time to like the Goodwills. Also, at my school, I started a cheer camp for the scholars to have a place to go after school so that they're not
Okay.
out on the streets.
Wow.
We have an event coming up June 12th that's giving back to the community, and just we're going to do autographs, music, free food.
Okay.
And since the Ella Austin event and the little girl that is my inspiration now, too, as well,
Oh.
she asked about a crown. So I had some people, which was my sister and my mother, donate tiaras. So during this time, I'm going to do the autograph pictures, but I'm also going to hand every child who wants one a
You're
tiara
giving
as
me
well.
chills. Oh my goodness, you're giving me chills. Oh wow, that is a lot. Okay, now in getting this crown and going through this process, what do you expect your daughters to get out of seeing you go through all this?
My expectations for my own two girls is that they understand there is no limitations
Mm-hmm.
and that everything that mommy does is for you. I want them to realize that women have a voice, women are powerful,
Mm-hmm.
and all women are queens.
Wow,
I also am trying to teach them about giving back,
yes.
being selfless. The acts of kindness that you do are worth more than what you receive in
Exactly, exactly. I'm feeling that.
life.
So, what do you hope to gain from this competition?
What I'm hoping to gain from this competition is my sponsors
Mm-hmm.
that I am using are people that are just starting businesses, trying to get their names out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm also trying to help get them out there, get their names out there, promote the small businesses,
Right.
help the little people come up. I if and when sorry, Miss Stephanie, I win this. It's not just about me. It's bringing up the community.
Right. That sounds so good. So, in doing all this, what goal do you want to have achieved when you are crowned Miss Petite USA?
The goal I would want to have achieved is I have to keep going back to the vision
Mm-hmm.
and being a voice. As a teacher, I always, even when I was in my interview, I let them know I am a voice for the children. The
Right.
children that I usually have drawn to me are the ones that people consider the strong willed children.
Right.
And in my class, I let every scholar know that no matter what you want to be,
Mm-hmm.
Miss Russell will always support you. There
Oh.
is nothing that I won't support them with and encourage them to do.
Yeah. Plus, you'll
So,
give them something to remember you by as well. That's very valuable.
yes,
And I know they'll cherish that. Just the fact that somebody actually cares so much to leave that one little token for them to go through life with. Now, if you could be anyone else besides yourself, who would it be?
if I could be anyone besides myself, hmm.
Gotcha.
I know. If I could be anyone besides myself, I would say I would want to be. And I'm trying to think of a particular person, but there's a lot of people and things that come to mind. So I would just say a legend. to leave behind a legacy, to leave behind a foundation
Mm-hmm.
for my children so that they won't have to go through so many obstacles that I had to go through just
Right.
to get to this point in life. So just to build an empire for them, but not only them, to leave them with the mindset to continue to help other people be just as great.
Right. That's really good. That's really good. What has been in life your biggest failure?
In life, I feel like my biggest failure has been I don't really look at any I don't really look at anything I've done as a failure, but more as a lesson.
Right.
So, if I had to choose something, I would choose, but have no regrets, of continuing with the psychology, which
Right.
I still can do now because that is something that I really wanted to achieve.
Mm,
But the sacrifice that I had to make to me was better into making sure that my child was taken care of and
right.
she didn't have to struggle.
Right. Right. And any mother should feel that way to where whatever she go through, she wouldn't want her children to go through. So she tries to set that example.
Yes.
And so that's great. Okay. Tell us about a challenge that you experienced and how you overcame it.
A challenge that I experienced is one of my jobs that I had
Mm,
as an early learning teacher.
mm,
It was really difficult being able to actually go into work with it was the adults more or less, not the children.
right.
And so my thing is I can see past that as long as I am reaching at least one child. So
Mm,
for me, how I overcame that battle and that struggle was to pray every day before I went into that center, that
mm,
God showed me and let me know that this is what I need you to do.
right.
This is how I need you to speak to and reach people. So later in that ladder, I did become management. And
Okay.
I was able to fix some of the problems and some of the concerns of our employees to
Mm,
make that environment healthier
right.
and for them to feel like I was a safe person to be able to talk to. And again, I've always been able to help be the voice um, and articulate some things that they felt that they weren't able to.
Okay. Okay. That's a good answer. I know when I was thinking of these, I said, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna have to make her think. Yeah, we have crosses that either makes us or breaks us. Can you tell us one of your crosses and how it molded you to be the woman that you are today?
One of my crosses is becoming a mother at the age of 19.
Mm,
Um, it was something that hit me, and most people, when they are older and you find out you're pregnant,
mm,
you're excited and you're like, this is a good journey.
right.
Being a young mother, when I first found out, I cried, but
Mm,
I didn't cry because I was sad about the situation.
mm,
I cried because I was scared and I wondered if I could be a good enough mother to live up to my
wow.
child's standards. And that's when I decided I needed to think of something that I can do in the present right now to make a difference in my life that
Right.
is going to help impact me and my child when she was born.
Mm,
So that's why I chose to go ahead, and I had already knew a little bit of cosmetology through my aunt. She's a cosmetologist.
mm,
And so I decided I'm going to go to beauty school, but I'm also going to work. So again, at 18, because I was pregnant at 18. I had her after my 19th birthday.
mm.
I worked all the way until she was past due. um, and I continued school. I
Mm,
felt like school was a very important thing.
yes.
I also was able to get my CDA as well, and I
Mm.
still continue my education.
Wow, that's a great thing. And I mean, I had my first when I was 19. You know, he would have been what, 30 now? But I
Yes.
crossed the stage at 18, not knowing I was pregnant.
Yes.
I mean, we do tend to
Trying
take
to
the
see
time to
it.
look back and say, if I could change things, this is what I would do. I would not go without. I don't regret none of my children. If I could
Exactly.
do it all over again, I would do it all over again, but with a different timing,
Yes.
you know. But we can't change those hands of times. All we could do is learn from them. So yeah, that was a great answer. Wow, almost, we relate to each other.
Yeah.
If you could look back to when you was young, what is one piece of advice you would offer yourself?
If I could look back to when I was young, a piece of advice that I would offer to myself
Hmm.
was to never give up on any dream. That as long as you believe in yourself,
Hmm.
even when or if no one else believes in you and what you want to do,
Hmm.
and as long as you love yourself, that there is no limit to the things and possibilities of things that you can achieve.
Right, right. Now, what do you think is the biggest problem facing teens today, and why?
I think the biggest problem facing teens today and really people in general is social media
Right.
and the internet and the cell phones, technology.
Yes, I agree.
Because when you look at people interactions now,
Right.
the majority of it is whether they're in person or not, the cell phones are in their hands, the
Yes.
headphones are on their ears. They're tuned into Facebook and
Mm.
to conversations that they are probably not even being able to mentally get
Right.
because they're focused and multitasking with all the different electronics.
Right.
So I feel like social um, our social lives are being disrupted and they're being
Mm.
difficult, and it's making children unable to be able to communicate comfortably and not they're not understanding or being able to understand
Hmm.
how to make friends.
Right. Right. Because I mean, it's like now, if they have friends, it's on the internet.
Yes.
That's why
It's
I
people
tell
from
my
a
son,
different country.
it's time to get off that game. Let's go to a park or something. Come in here with mommy. Because it's like the technology has taken over our children.
I feel like they're not being able to be children anymore as well.
Exactly.
I was an outside child. I
Mm.
played sports.
Mm.
I wasn't a cheerleader and stuff like that. Um, I climbed trees, played baseball, played basketball. Um, we stayed outside, until the street lights came on.
See, Auntie,
And
she's a tomboy just like I was. I was in
yes.
trees too.
So I try to install that in my children as well, and they're
Mm.
they're pretty good at it. They're still like they still like board games. They
Yeah.
still like bike
Mine don't.
riding,
Mine don't. I can't even get them to play Uno.
racing.
Mm.
They're getting a little bit too much now into the cell phones and
Okay.
the YouTubes and some of it. I'm really trying to especially cut back on my 5-year-old because I'm just looking like it's kind of hard to monitor it
Hmm.
because now they're incorporating cartoons, but
Oh,
the language isn't
yes.
for children.
But I see you got her involved in gymnastics,
Yes.
and she making my back hurt. I'm up here watching her do that, and I'm like, oh my
I'm practicing. I'm
god.
gonna do that.
So his dad trying to,
I'm
because
gonna beat
some
the
of the dads they had a
odds.
little posts and videos where the dad gets in and try to do it with their daughter. Is he trying to do the
Yeah.
back bends and flips too?
He's not, but brother is on it. So they're both, and so YouTube is good for some stuff because
Yeah.
when he can't figure it out, my son would go on there, and in 5 minutes he can do that back bend, he can do
Okay.
that flip.
Okay.
But so as long as he's still getting outside and incorporating it, I
Mm.
think that's a good thing too.
Okay. Do you think that pageantry objectifies women?
I don't feel like pageantry objectifies women, especially in the Miss Petite or the USA Petite pageants,
Mm.
because of their beliefs, and that is what they're trying to steer away from,
Hmm.
the stereotype of what pageants are.
Right.
So again, I earned my title through headshots, a biography, the
Hmm.
work that I've already put into the community.
Right.
So they never saw the glamour or the dressing up or
Mm.
the body shape. What they saw is the intellect,
Oh.
the charity, and the commitment.
Oh, I love that. I love that because I know coming up, you always see that they judge the women upon their
Yes.
bathing suits, how they walk, how they
And I was
stand.
concerned about that too because, again, I asked, like, do I have to wear a bikini? Because that already disqualified me. I'm a mother. So, and they're like, no. It's not a weight requirement though. The only thing they had was the height stipulation,
Right.
and that was a plus for me.
Because I'm 5'4". I didn't know she was taller than me.
No, I'm not. You actually 1 inch taller than me. I'm 5'3".
Oh, hey, that work.
So look, you could be in the next one.
I don't know. 'Cause
I'm-
gravity is not agreeing with me, and I'm about to be 50, so I think I'm out of that category now. But tell us about a time when you had to overcome peer pressure and how you handled it.
So for me, a time where I overcame peer pressure, I would say, is in high school. I was considered the popular girl.
Mm.
How I don't know because I was the quiet girl.
Right.
And so I had a set of friends that didn't like my other set of friends
Mhm.
because they were really the uptight, I won't so much say snobby,
Mhm.
but the uptight cheerleaders, popular girls, dated the jockeys. But I also hung out with the smart girls, the ones
Mhm.
that were focused in their books, the ones that weren't, exactly considered the pretty girls.
Right. Right.
And so for me, when we went to lunch, I sat in the middle.
Right.
If my friends, one set of my friends can't sit here, then I won't sit here.
Right.
If we can't sit together and communicate and come together as human beings, um, not stereotyping them because they're smarter or
Right.
stereotyping you because you're the cheerleader squad coaches or leaders of the school.
Right.
So there was a little peer pressure there because, of course, they'll be like, "Come over here, don't sit by them. We don't,
Right.
we don't want our image tarnished." So I would get up and move, or again, like I said, I would sit in the middle
Right.
and be like the mediator. And while I was there, they didn't talk about each other badly.
Mhm.
They didn't bump heads.
Mhm.
We all started becoming friends, even
Mhm.
outside of school.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful. What kind of what kind of obstacles did you have to overcome to compete for this pageant?
For the pageant, I think my biggest obstacle, like I said, I was a tomboy, so
Mm.
um, getting used to the walk in heels,
Mm.
getting used to having on makeup every day because being a public figure, I'm always a role model. I'm always representing the pageant. So focusing and making sure that I was always walking
Right.
straight, holding my head up high. Walking in the hills, I would say, was my biggest obstacle.
Mm.
And I've come a long way with that.
Okay.
Um, Getting up every day and making sure I put my face on and that
Mm.
I'm ready for the world. I'm ready if someone walks up and wants to snap a picture or have an autograph or even just want to have a conversation to know what inspires me, what makes me do this, how can I be involved in it?
Right.
And, so that's been my biggest obstacle.
So once the schools and everything open up and you become Miss USA, Petite USA, I got to put that in there.
Yes. Mini
Do you see
USA.
yourself going out to the schools to also, you know, motivate speaking and mentoring to other girls there, especially ones that's going through low self-esteem and feel like they could not beat that one that has that crown?
Yes, I do see myself actually continuing to do that because my role varies in the school that I'm in
Right.
because of the scholars in the community that I work in.
Right.
So the my babies, I'm sorry, I call them my babies. They come to me now
Mm-hmm.
with problems. Um, Me and my fiance as well. We take some of them to sports because they never been able to be involved in sports.
Right.
So we have our personal scholars that we mentor. I have one of my founding students that ended up pregnant. And so we also mentor and reach out and help her with
Right.
helping her take care of her baby, encouraging her to stay in school, letting her
Right.
know that she can do it. And if she has any problem, she knows that Miss Russell door is open where
Mm-hmm.
my classroom is. A lot of my founding scholars are really attached to me,
Right.
and they know that I'm a safe space. If they have
Right.
trouble with any other teachers, if they're having troubles at home, they know how to reach out to me on Remind. They have a number they can reach me. My door is always open. So I would continue to mentor, and if other schools wanted me to come out, I would feel comfortable to do that as well.
Great. Great. Now, um, you're a mother. You're a teacher. Of I don't know. You told us last time 300 some odd students
365.
to be exact.
And it'll be more next year.
So being a mother, a teacher, and you also are the CEO and president of Jason Eats Poetry Corner.
Yes,
Could you
ma'am.
tell us a little bit about it and where they can find you on that there?
So I have a platform called Jay Shanique's Poetry Corner on Facebook. It's actually a page. And the page was created so that people were able to have a sense of healing through poetry or song. So every member has a safe place. There's no judgment. You can write about any type of poetry, emotion, or feeling you have. It's a very supportive group. Each and every member, they'll comment, they'll like, they'll share, they'll give you inspirational stuff. And we also just added a mentor program on there as well.
Great.
So mentors can sign up to help people, and you can sign up anonymously to get mentorship. And so I thought that that was an awesome new thing that we're offering on the page as well. But it started for me too because when I was younger and I would have different things bother me, it was much easier for me to write my pain, to write what
Mm,
I felt.
yes.
So this platform has been expanding since the very first test podcast. And I appreciate and thank all my members because, again, without them, it wouldn't even be a page.
Exactly.
So it's always important to me to point out everybody who
Right.
makes it possible. And again, I'm very grateful for all the posts, the comments, the love. Sometimes they even inbox me if they have a question or
Hmm.
need to seek help. And I'm able to, where I'm not able to help you, I'm able to give you resources as well to reach
Exactly.
out.
Exactly. I know that as I went through the page and I seen a lot of them that actually it puts you on an emotional roller coaster,
Yeah.
but a lot of them are some are real and some you could tell are fictional.
Yes.
But they're beautiful. It's like a lot of people are coming out since you opened this platform. A lot of people that came out and been able to show their gift. You know,
Mhm.
I know I put one in there myself called One Wing. And I mean, I never put my second book up there at all, but I'm like, okay, I see everybody coming out with it.
Yes.
Let me bust it on open in there. But, it's like everybody that's in that platform that comes, they support one each other
Yes. And
in
that's what
that
I
room.
love.
And
Yes.
I love that because it's like next thing you know, you got boom, boom, boom,
Yes.
and they leave the comments to let you know how they feel or what they seen
And
from
each
this
and
point.
every poem that is posted,
Mm,
believe it or not, I read. I
mm,
read each and every poem because there's something that someone may be going through and
right,
they just haven't had the strength yet to post it. And so you writing it and them being able to read it and relate and know they're not alone was also a big thing for me.
yes,
Um, I read each and every one and I leave comments, loves, and it's really been amazing to see how many men are starting to pour out their hearts and write on there as well.
right, right.
So that was something else that was amazing because a lot of people don't believe or think that men can be emotional or
Hmm.
that men are able to express and share their struggles, obstacles, and what they feel as a man.
Right. Now, besides your own, what is one of them on one of the pieces that was on the Jason Eats Portrait Corner that touched you the most?
There's been so many. Um, Sage writes a lot of deep stuff on there.
Hmm.
He actually was one of our poets of the month because we
Okay.
do that as well.
Wow.
I can't remember the exact piece, but him as well as Mr. Thomas Baker Jr.
Mm.
He was actually one of the first males to really post. Okay, sorry, Oscar Morales. He was one of the males to first post to as well.
Mhm.
But when Mr. Baker posts, he is a vet,
Mhm.
and he posts stuff that he went through and felt as a vet and going through those times and after
Wow.
retiring. So there was a poem that he wrote about, I believe it was entitled Death Knocking at My Door.
Oh wow.
And from that poem, it inspired me to write the response.
Okay.
And so I just felt that was a very deep poem.
Right.
I appreciated him sharing it and being transparent.
Right.
And again, it was an inspiration for me to, I wrote Death's response
Uh-huh.
behind it as an encouragement
Oh,
for the feeling that he may have been feeling at that
wow, that is powerful. That is powerful. Yeah, I've seen some on there, and I mean, I sit there and I was like, whoa. Because, I mean, even Mr. Sin City, he chimed in there, and it's like,
time.
bruh. Yeah.
Yes, he's been writing some deep poetry as
Very deep.
well.
Yes. So, besides them opening this window for them to share their poetry on Facebook, you also have a show.
Yes. So on Sundays, we also do a show, which I've had some wonderful women on. Miss Spicy Gray being one of them. And actually, I think the first one that we did, it was me, her, and Prezi
Oh, yeah.
that really got a lot of attention from men and women
Mhm.
being on the show. And so, what we touch on is different topics. A lot of times, I get my topics from the members on the page. I'll ask them to like write lists or send me different topics that they would like me to touch on and share. And then, literally, I go and study for that whole week once
Mhm.
I choose the topic about it, because I don't want to give them false information.
Right.
I give them information from experience. And then for each and every show, including when I am on other people's shows, I write a poem specifically for that show that I don't share until after the show because I'm writing it for that purpose.
Mhm.
Afterwards, I do release the poem on the page, or I'll read it on the page as well. But the shows are on Sunday, and the usually the time is at 5. Sometimes we do it a little later depending on the demand or depending on circumstances.
Right.
But it has been very well. We get a lot of comments and feedback. Also, there's people like voicing how they feel as well. They can call in and share their experiences and how they felt. The last show we did was um, behind walls, like, and not prison walls, Sin
Mhm.
City. Um, how people build walls
Right.
and why they build walls. And Miss Stephanie Nias was a wonderful guest on that show and
Mhm.
had a lot of insight um, in survival and how she overcame and tore down those walls.
Wow.
So again, you can look back on the page at some of the shows as well. We had Jay Shanique, who has her first single out, Critical Condition. She was on one of the shows as well as a teenager expressing, I believe our topic was about love.
Mm. Yeah, that was right. And I seen a clip on the critical condition. She has a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
Beautiful, and it's surprising how like our children come out with gifts of with a sweet voice to sing, and then we sit back and try to test our own. I'm like, okay,
Yes.
they had to reach back, you know.
Okay. That was
Yeah,
a step back because
yeah.
I was like, no,
But
I can't sing. That's
don't you have a
it.
CD that's gonna be in the making as well?
I do. Within within my soul, is a poetry CD that is currently in the works.
Hmm.
Thanks to Street Legend. So if you need music, poetry, anything like that,
Some laughs.
reach out to them. Um, Podcasts, they do it all over there.
Yes, yes.
They're really willing to help and support with any platform.
Mhm.
If you have a vision, they are able to help you make your vision become a reality.
Exactly, exactly. Let's see here. We got a
We
lot of
haven't
people to
even been
shout out.
looking
I'm
at
just gonna
time.
say everybody, because there's a long list of people that we just stroll by. Thank y'all for tuning in. I do appreciate y'all. We have had a great pleasure of having a queen, actually a queen in the house. That's been
Thank you.
fabulous. Now, with the COVID-19 and everything, which yes, I'm gonna bring it up, but because you never know who's gonna ask you this. What is your view on everything that's going on now with not just the COVID-19, but what's going on with the people doing the protest and the riot people?
My view on everything that is going on right now with from the COVID and how that affected me as being a teacher and a parent as well is that some of it is actually, I feel like, blessings.
Mm-hmm.
With COVID, it forced parents and families to bond, to really get to interact and know each other, to
Mm-hmm.
have that time with their scholars. Because even as me being a teacher and a parent, it was we're at school all day.
Right.
I'm there from 7:30 to 5:30 at night.
Mm-hmm.
When you get home, you cook, you do homework, you bathe your children, they go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
So the only time that I was able to really spend time with them would be on the weekends. But even on the weekends, as a teacher, you're still working.
Right.
You're still doing lesson plans. So I think that it was a blessing in disguise for a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it also raised rates of child abuse and
Yes.
domestic violence.
Yes, it has.
So it had its upsides and the downsides as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah. Now, being Miss Petite Converse, transitioning into Miss Petite USA, a mother, a teacher, a woman of your own, when do you find time for Monica
So that's a good question.
Russell?
I am actually working on finding time for myself right now.
Mm,
Um, so we developed a planner,
okay.
me and Sin, and I do have again a wonderful team of ladies who encourage and inspire me to make sure that I do make that time for Monica. Make sure that I and other people realize that Monica Russell is the one that holds the glue. And so that's why I was inspired um, by Miss Fire to
Mhm.
write the poem, The Bags That I Carry, so people
Okay.
can understand that there's a lot more that comes to me as lovely vibes and Miss Petite, USA Converse, and a mother.
And
So,
the teacher.
and a teacher is I still have scholars reaching out
Yes.
and I still respond because again, I make sure that they're still good, not just through the school year, but through the summer as well.
Mhm.
So it is a little difficult to make time for me, but the time for me would be after I have my children laying down. I have time that I meditate. I have time that I'll take just at least 30 minutes if that's all I'm able to take and
Right.
go for a walk and listen to music and just take a breather and a step back
Right.
from
Right.
everything.
Right. Now, mom and dad, I'm so proud of them. And I know they probably feel so proud to have a daughter like you.
Yes.
How, what is their reaction and how are they dealing, walking through this with you?
My dad actually was the big supporter from the jump
Mm-hmm.
when they because of course like I said pageants are expensive,
Mm-hmm.
so you have to really be dedicated to them and you have to really have a vision because everything that you do for a pageant is coming from your own pocket.
Right.
Um, so my dad, when I told him about it, and they were like, "Okay, they'll need the $300 to it's like an entry fee
Mm-hmm.
for my sash and my tiara, and to claim my title." My dad was like, "Well, come over here right now. I have $100. I have the first $100, and you." And I was like, "Okay, I haven't really decided because this is coming out of nowhere. I had like 72 hours to take the title, or they'll give it to like the runner up."
Oh, okay.
So he was like all in from the beginning.
Wow.
So he did the initial step for me to help me and push me to go ahead and do it. Mom is hosting and running a GoFundMe for Miss Petite Converse.
And can you give them the information to that as well?
I think. So there is a GoFundMe. You just have to go to GoFundMe and look up Miss Petite Converse. I'm not sure if say Miss Petite Converse Texas or just Miss Petite Converse, but my picture is on there as well.
Mm.
And then my Cash App is $ Miss Petite Converse as well. If you would like to help me with my platform and my journey as becoming Miss Petite Texas,
Mhm.
those are ways that you can support. If you look at my page, it's Lovely Vibes. You can message me or inbox if you would like to help with some sponsoring. I do have a sponsor video as well as my interviews that I have been
Right,
doing.
right.
You can reach out to one of my members of the team as well. And they can get back to me again. Messenger, Lovely Vibes is another way that you can continue to support. And also just support by supporting the events,
Right.
coming out for the free food or the educational pamphlets, continuing to watch my interviews because it's not about the money. It's
Mhm.
not about the sponsorships. It's about being part of the community and being able to give back to the community and let them know, like, if you have any questions or concerns that maybe you want me voiced or you want to hear on Jay Shanique's Poetry Corner on my Sunday shows, that's supporting me as well.
Exactly, exactly. Sin City says, shout out to Legacy City super producer on that CD, Within My Soul,
Yes.
coming very soon. Thank you, Sin, for
We
that.
also have some music coming out, hopefully, that
Good, good.
Twin Cities, as they like to call themselves, are
Mm.
on, and I'm doing poetry on them as well.
Oh,
So,
fabulous, fabulous. It has been a pleasure having you in. I
thank
really
you.
enjoyed you. And like I said, I ain't going to wish you luck. I'm going to say you got this.
Thank
You
you
know, you got
again.
all of us behind you. We love
Yes.
you. And as you know, we usually have the nutrition in order to get us out of here. But, before we get to nutrition, just a reminder next week, we're going to be on StreamYard. So if y'all can't download StreamYard,
Okay.
we will be interviewing Lady Bain. And if you look her up, she's a fabulous woman, very fabulous woman.
I
So we
am
will
definitely
be
going to do that.
interviewing her, and she's going to give us a little taste.
And I need you to resend out the Father's Day stuff because I seen the one for the drawing for the basket, but I
Right.
haven't really seen as much the other one that you wanted to
Yeah,
feature
we're
on.
gonna
So,
the giveaway. We have one sponsor. We're just waiting to hear back from them.
yes.
We do have one gift for that one. Um, we're just trying to see if we're gonna face against something like we did last time, to where we got stuck on 3 letters,
Yes.
and
There
we
are
could
so
not
many
make a decision.
amazing mothers. So I know
Yes.
that we have a lot of amazing fathers. So
Mm.
that's probably going to
And
be
I'm
more
gonna say
difficult.
this. I know June just started, and I could say with the gift basket raffle, we actually had like 20 people that actually bought raffle tickets, and that was for Mother's Day.
Yes.
And then we had 15 letters sent over. And thank you for all that reading. Yes, I love to read. But my thing is, we got one raffle ticket in the container
For
for the
Father's
fathers.
Day.
I am requesting that y'all send it in. If y'all wondering, okay, the basket costs more than $40. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I saw the basket.
Yeah, it's filled with a lot
It
of
has
good things.
amazing things and awesome
Yes,
things.
and like I said, we got to think of our fathers. To let them know we appreciate them, that we love them, and they are acknowledged for what they stand
Yes.
for. With the gift giveaway, you know, all they got to do is just email the letters or inbox me the letters. Just give me that name.
And right now, during this time, our
Mhm.
fathers, our black men, need to know
That
that
they
they're
appreciate
loved
it.
and they're
Yes,
appreciated and
yes.
that we support them. So Father's Day should always be just as important as Mother's Day.
Exactly, exactly. So we're looking for that before the 18th, because June 18th, that's where we're going to have the tribute to the fathers with the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour
Jay Shanique's Poetry Corner.
and Battle of the Sexes. So it's going to be something live. So I know
Yes, she
they
has
probably
something
wondering.
big planned. That's why I
Yes, a
keep
little
laughing.
treat. Yeah, we got a surprise for the fathers. So, we ask you to tune in on June 18th, but we'll see you next Thursday and lead us out.
Okay, so I forgot my actual paper, but I always have my poetry right here close to me. And since it was on nutrition, she made me write this nutritional and it's called My Zen. She knew, look, it done skipped all the way up. She knew that to be defined as healthy, she would have to stay in control, have complete physical, mental, and social well being. Just the thought of all those things created a sense of anxieties. To be judged by society based off those such things, to be responsible to hold up such an image, one that no one can quite seem to nail down. Where you have one, you may lack the other. She looked herself up and down, gently placed her donuts next to her on the ground, put her running shoes on, tied her hair up in a bun, stretched left, then right, headed out the door, but something didn't feel right. Exercise will cover the physical. What about my mind? She grabbed a pen and paper. She began to write. I can run and run 30, 40 minutes a day, stay away from carbs, be fine in 10 days. Mentally, though, how will I feel? Should I call a doctor? Do I inquire about the pill? She put down that pen and turned on a song. I can do this. I'm worth it. Two battles down, now there's still the one. Social well being, she thought to herself out loud. Whatever does that mean? Grabbed a dictionary and started looking up things. She knew this one would be the most difficult. It made her feel sad. Social well being should have been the easiest of the three. She was never one to need anyone for anything, trusted very few, kept a small circle, determined to be well rounded and healthy. She started to see we all need someone, even if it's just one, to continue to be healthy, help us complete our state of Zen. Tears started to fill her eyes, realizing she had been feeding her mind lies. Today, though, she had finally reached all three stages of healthy life. Now it was about consistency, perfecting her new routine. You got this thing called health. You can do it, Queen. And that was by Lovely.
That is lovely. I loved it. I loved it. Thank you so much for that nutrition.
You are
Good luck.
welcome.
And like I said, you got us behind you. You
Thank
got
you.
this. I'll be looking for that second crown and bringing you back in. Okay?
And thank you for having me. It's always a
Anytime.
pleasure.
Anytime. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. here on the Unspoken Heart. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye bye.